What's up, guys? This is Rob of Black Hill Woodwork, and in today's video we're going to be making a birdhouse with this red cedar log and this piece of oak. That's going to be the top piece. So I'm going to be showing you guys how I make a birdhouse. You might have seen other videos of people making them, wood turning them, and I'm sure their process is much different than mine. This is just the way that I do it. It's not wrong the way I do it. It's not wrong the way they do it. Every wood turner is different. Nobody's turning incorrect unless it's unsafe. So let's put it on the lathe and get turning. All right, so we got on the lathe. Now we're just gonna start shaping the bottom piece of the birdhouse. Keep in mind, if you guys do follow the way that I do it, there's a faceplate here, so there's screws that come out maybe ½ inch. So be careful that you don't hit any screws. This little area right here is a no cutting zone. Okay, we got it nice and balanced out. If you guys have seen my previous videos, you know this is red cedar. I turn it so often because, I mean, just look at it. That's why I turn it so much. So first we just wanted to balance it. Now that it's balanced, let's actually shape out the birdhouse. Okay, so this is where we're at now. It's not completely done, you know, with the shape. Here's gonna be the bottom, but I need to hollow out the inside, so I can't finish the bottom too much, otherwise it'll just fall off. So let's hollow out the inside, and then we'll finish off the bottom. You know, I've made a few birdhouses before. I never thought of this. I know this is really weird, but I think it'll work. So obviously in a birdhouse, you have that one piece of wood that the bird sits on. Well, what if I just make it out of this? So instead of getting another piece of wood, another scrap piece of wood, and having to attach it to the lathe and doing a bunch of stuff, you know, I'm just gonna cut this down, sand it, and then just cut it off. So this little piece right here in the middle, that's going to be that piece of wood that sticks out of the birdhouse that the bird sits on. So I'm gonna go sand this little knob right here. 80 to 400 grit really quick. I have to be very, look, I mean, it's already wiggling around a little bit. I have to be very gentle with it. But then, once I'm done sanding, I'll cut it off and it should be good. Now I'm gonna put a little bit of Yorkshire grit on. I know. This looks ridiculous, what I'm doing, but it's gonna work. Okay, here it is. I'll sand this bottom part. And once I drill the hole in, should fit pretty good. Cool. Now, let's just keep on hollowing this thing out. Okay, so we hollowed out the inside. Now let's sand from 80 to 400, the inside and the outside. After that, we'll be drilling some holes so that the bird could go in and get the food, and so he could sit on that other little piece of wood while he's eating. Or at least I think that's what that stuff is for. I've never had a birdhouse before. I make them, but I've never actually used one. So maybe this will be my birdhouse. Actually, before we sand, let's finish up this bottom. Just touch it up just a little bit, and then we'll sand. Okay, looks nice. Now it's time to drill some holes. Alright guys, so here is where we are at. I didn't put this in the video because it took a super long time, but I actually messed up drilling the hole. You guys saw the first hole I made, and then I went to a bigger size, and it got messed up. So I fixed it. I just kept on drilling, I guess, bigger sizes, and then I actually returned it just a little bit. I cut it down a little bit. I worked on the bottom just a little bit more, and sanded it and put the Yorkshire grit back on. I know, sounds like a lot, but hopefully if you guys drill correctly, you won't have to do what I just did. Perfect circle, looks good. Now we need to drill again right down here for this piece to go just like that. It is so close. The other bit I have is too big. I mean, it's so close to fitting, so I'm just gonna go to the belt sander and try to sand it a little bit down so it'll fit good. Just a little bit of CA glue. All right, and that thing is not moving. Okay, so now let's get our handsaw out. I'm just gonna saw this little piece off right here, and then hand sand the bottom. So we just sanded the bottom, and this is what we're working with. So now all we have to do is the top part. Okay, so now let's shape the top. All right, this is our top. Yes, I know, there's cracks everywhere. I'm gonna fill them up with some sawdust. I think cracks that are filled with sawdust, I think they look pretty cool, especially when the finish is on. And this wood is super dry, so I don't expect them to get any bigger. So once I do fill them all up, it should be good, no problem. Once we're done filling up the cracks, we'll sand it and then shear it off right here. Or I might just saw it off. All right, now let's sand it 80 to 400, then the Yorkshire grit. What's up, guys? So it's actually the next day. I was sanding, and after I put the CA glue, I didn't wait for it to cure, and it got really close to my eye. It didn't get in my eye, but it got close enough for me to just say, you know what, I'm done for today. So it's the next day, and I was actually really thinking about using another piece of wood, because even though I do like cracks, I was thinking the red cedar part, the bottom half looks so nice that I don't want the top to have cracks. But coming back here and actually looking at the piece, I mean, I actually like it. So I'm going to sand it all the way. I actually want to hollow out the inside just a little bit. I don't want it completely flat. And then put some finish on it, some Yorkshire grit before that, and I'll see what it looks like. If I do like it, I'll attach it to the bottom part. If I don't, then I'll find a piece of wood that doesn't have cracks and make a different top. So that's where we're at right now. I'm going to continue sanding. I actually started at 60 because of how much CA glue. So 60 to 400 Yorkshire grit. Let me hollow out the inside and we'll see what it looks like. Let me know what you guys think, but I like it. I'm going to be using it for the top. Not going to be using a different piece of wood. I love this color. That's why I picked the oak. I think it'll contrast very well with the red and the red cedar for the bottom part. But yeah, I'm not going to put a finish on it now because we're going to be attaching the two with thick CA glue. And I don't know if the oils from the finish will affect, you know, the bondage, I guess. So next steps. I'm going to hand saw this off, sand the top, Yorkshire grit. Okay, here's the top. I'm going to go sand that. Alright guys, it's the moment of truth. You know, I think I'm a okay wood turner, but doing things like this with CA glue and attaching things, that's more woodworking. That is not my field, to be honest. So I'll be using some thick CA glue. We'll put it around the rim. And then just like that. Wish me luck. I'm not sure if maybe wood glue would have been a little bit better or would be better. I don't know. But I'm going to be using CA thick. Here it is, guys. I'll let that cure up for a little bit. We'll do some finishing touches so you could actually hang it. Plus, we need to put some finish on it. There's no finish on any of this, even though that wood does look pretty nice right now. That's all from the Yorkshire grit. And Yorkshire grit is not a finish. Guys, so here's where we're at. It's cured, rock solid. This thing is not coming off. I had actually a 10-pound weight just sitting on it for a few hours. So all good. Now it's time for the finishing process. I'm not going to be recording all of it because it will be taking a few days, but I will tell you guys what I'll be doing. I'm using this Helmsman spar urethane. It's very good for outdoor things because this is a birdhouse. It's going to be outside in the elements, you know, all types of weather. So I'll spray one coat of this, wait for it to cure. 24 hours later, I'll be using this abrasive pad. Put on another coat, this abrasive pad, another coat, which is the last coat, 3 coats. I'll be using this white abrasive pad. After that, I'll be putting some oil on it, wiping it down, and it'll be all done. But before we do the finishing process, I got these fisheye hooks. I'm going to screw it in here, get some yarn, and then once it's done with the finish, I'll put it in the tree and show you guys what it looks like. But if you guys stay this far into the video, like always, thank you, appreciate it. Stay tuned for future videos. Hit that like and subscribe button. All that stuff. See you guys in the next one. Peace.